What's going on, everyone? So this weekend is expected to see some moves from the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a trade. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a free agency signing. It could be as simple as Shake Milton getting waived, right? Because he is expected to get waived at the latest on Saturday. But there is supposed to be moves in the works for the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, that could be as simple as Shake Milton being waived. I would imagine, though, that if the Lakers waive Shake Milton, that they're going to replace him with somebody, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if Shake Milton ends up getting waived and then shortly after, right? I don't know if it'll be like about, like, oh, here's the, and then boom, Shake's out, boom, Josh Okogie's in, all in like one swoop. Like it's almost like one report. I don't know if that will end up happening, but there should be moves made. Also, Summer League is over, or will be over later today. The Lakers have like a consolidation game or consolation game. There we go. Not consolidation. Consolation game. There we go. Words are hard. But they have that final game against the Denver Nuggets, and then you get into the back to the offseason, back to business as usual. Rob Pelinka, I talked about the reports going into Summer League that Rob Pelinka is expected to be working and busy and kind of, trying to make moves, and that the potential of a trade or something getting done is more likely to happen through the progress of Summer League and then post Summer League, right? So Rob is doing the due diligence, doing the work, right? Having the conversations, getting the dialogue going, right? Kind of fielding potential offers and trades and stuff. Now you'll go after Summer League and things will start getting finalized. And usually that's what you see, right? Usually Summer League, everything's calm, right? Everything kind of settles in. Right? Obviously you get like Damian Lillard free, but I'm talking about like trades and stuff because all the executives are at Summer League. All the executives are at Summer League. They're scouting their players. They're doing all this stuff. Yeah, they're having conversations. It's more laxed, right? You're not on the phone. You're screaming at each other and stuff. You're kicking back, talking, hey, how's the kids? How's the wife? It's great to hear, man. So what do you think about Matisse Thybulle, right? Like, it's kind of how this all ends up kind of playing itself out. And so you're in this environment where it's all, it's about basketball and you're having a good time and you're building those relationships and you're having those conversations that it usually could lead to something good. And then usually you see kind of the weekend after things start to pick up a little bit, right? Particularly for the Lakers. Because outside of like a handful of teams, everyone else is going to go back to business as usual. There's going to be a couple teams that are going to be trying to compete for the Las Vegas Summer League championship, right? But the Lakers aren't one of those teams, and there's several other teams that the Lakers are, in talks with that aren't going to be part of those teams. So it's very possible the Lakers get something done this weekend. My guess is like a trade. Like if we're looking for a trade, earliest will probably be like next week. Probably get through the Summer League championship and all that stuff, and then you'll start getting that. However, I could see a potential free agent signing, right, for the Lakers. That now that they'll get back to business as usual. All of a sudden, they waive Shake Milton on Saturday. He ends up getting waived, and then Monday or Sunday something ends up happening, right, and you kind of make that transition. I think D'Anthony Melton's probably the best overall player available right now that the Lakers could bring in. Al Horford, you can make an argument for that too. But D'Anthony Melton, his age, he's a guy that could be a long-term piece for you too. A guy that you're not just bringing in for right now, that you could be bringing in for next handful of years if it works out. But after that, beyond that, I'd probably go with Joshua Okogie because he's the exact thing that the Lakers need. Right, point of attack defense, a guy that can defend 1 through 3. He's 6'4" with a 6 or 7 foot wingspan. Right, so he's got an insane wingspan for somebody that's 6'4" and can defend. Right, we all talk about like Matisse Thybulle and like Joshua Okogie is that. Like the only thing about Matisse Thybulle is he's shot better over the last few years. Although Josh Okogie did shoot 38% from three-point range with Phoenix last year. So if he can kind of get back to that and maintain that, then that could do wonders. Gary Payton II, he just signed Bill Duffy, which that's Luka's agent. Luka, Ayton, there's a lot of talks about, hey, Gary Payton II could potentially be coming to the Lakers. He was already on the Lakers' radar before the Duffy thing. Now you got to imagine he's on it even more. You might even get that kind of like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? Duffy's kind of like, hey, get my guy, keep throwing you guys, right? It's the Rich Paul thing. Like LeBron and Rich Paul, guess what? They're building out their roster and their team with all the clutch guys. We've seen it before. Now, difference is Luka isn't clutch. Luka is with Duffy, and now you're going to get all the Duffy guys. Now you're going to get all those players that are going to fill around like Ayton and all that other stuff, right? And, you do. You kind of like, Gary Payton II would be a great player to add. Vet minimum guy. You're not paying him a fortune, right? So even if there is an argument to be made, even if you like somebody more, if you're the Lakers, you still go do the Gary Payton II because of what the benefits are, right? All of a sudden, Duffy's like, Luka, we got to sign this extension, my guy. Like starts pushing everything more in your direction, right? Starts, having everything kind of head more into, hey, we're going to help each other so that way Luka can win some championships here. Right? And you add in the backlash and everything. I think it'll be a good spot for them. But the good thing is the Lakers have options, right? They're going to waive Shake Milton. I don't necessarily know if they're going to do something immediately, right? Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a one leaves, one signs, but I can see, right? Like I wouldn't be shocked if later today, depending on when you're watching this video, maybe it's already happened. I wouldn't be shocked if later today, Shake Milton ends up getting waived, right? And, maybe we do. Maybe we get something where Shake gets waived and then, an hour or two later, whatever, Gary Payton II ends up signing on board, right? And you sign him to a vet minimum, and then you work out a consolidation trade to free up your biannual. But also, like, who are you going to get that's worth, like, I'm not giving Gary Payton II my biannual. That I'm not doing. So it's like, who's worth the biannual right now? Like, even Josh Okogie, I'm not giving the biannual. He's barely making that on his last contract. I mean, he's making a little more, $7.7 million. But, like, Al Horford, sure. But is Al Horford really going to come on board? Maybe not. Like the Lakers are almost better off. Like waive Shake Milton, right? Bring in whichever guy you like. I personally think the Lakers should bring in Joshua Okogie. If you can bring in DeAnthony Melton, bring in DeAnthony Melton. But I think he's probably going to the Warriors. Kind of has some unfinished business there. He wants to go to the Warriors, supposedly based on the reports. But I mean, he has had connections since he was drafted with the Lakers. But I think Joshua Okogie is the guy that makes the most sense for the Lakers. I've talked about him kind of heavily recently because he does, right? Lakers' biggest need right now is point of attack defense. Lakers' number one priority per reports is point of attack defense. What do the Lakers need? Oh yeah, let me think. Point of attack defense. What does Joshua Okogie give you better than anybody? Point of attack defense, right? He is the best defender available right now. Right, because of his size. Like Gary Payton II, I've seen people be like, oh, but what about his defense? Like, yeah, he's a great defender, but he doesn't have the size that, Josh Okogie has. He's not 6'4", he's like 6'1", 6'2", right? Josh Okogie's 6'4", but he also has that a 7-foot wingspan. So he has that versatility to defend 1 through 3, and on some occasions, even a 4, right? So I think he's the guy that you need, and you hope that playing alongside Luka, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves, he's going to get the quality of looks that will benefit him in a way to where he can be that three-point shooter. Like, Joshua Okogie is basically Jared Vanderbilt at the guard position, right? Guess what the Lakers could use? More Jared Vanderbilt, right? Like, because again, I think Jared Vanderbilt should be starting this season, unless, Lakers pull off a trade or something. I think Jared Vanderbilt should be starting, because I think between Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, you're going to score 120 points a night. Like, I think you're going to have the best offense. You're going to be torching folks. Whatever anyone else puts in, that'll just be icing on the cake. I think you have more than enough offense. I think you need those defensive guys. Obviously, I'd love, true 3-and-D guys, but that's hard to get. Every team in the league wants those guys. I'm not really giving up those guys, and those guys are expensive if you are getting them. So I hate the one-dimensional things. I get it, but Jared Vanderbilt's been working on his shot, been working to develop and grow on that. Okay, beautiful. Maybe he gets that going, right? I'm not even saying he has to be elite. Can he just be league average? Can he be 36%? Right? Or slightly, like even 35 and some change, slightly under league average. right? Like, perfect. Same thing with Joshua Okogie. Joshua Okogie could be, 35 to 36% from three-point range. That's perfect because their defense is going to give you enough to justify it. Right? Like, you don't necessarily need them to be 40%. It'd be nice. I'd love it. But you don't necessarily need that because they're going to create enough stops, enough advantages for you overall, give you second chance opportunities, so on and so forth, that it balances out. As long as they are respectable enough to where teams have to, like they could get hot enough to where teams have to respect it, then you're in good shape. So if I'm the Lakers, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Like if I'm the Lakers, I probably would go with Joshua Okogie, but I don't think you can really go wrong with any of the like top free agents. I mean, you could argue Amir Coffey, right? Because he's 6'7". So, no, I think whatever the Lakers end up doing, I do think will be right. Don't really expect a trade. To me, I think it'll just be waiving Shake Milton, and that could be it. Right? That's why when I started this video, I said, hey, I just want to be clear, it could just be waiving Shake Milton, but something is expected to happen in the coming days, whether it's today or this weekend. And, it makes sense, right? That if something was going to happen, this would probably be a win. Got to waive Shake Milton. Yeah, you're getting off a summer league. Kind of makes sense. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.